What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Ashton with Freedom Fitness Equipment here, and today I'm going to review this bad boy.
Yeah, boy.
The GPR400 by Body Solid. Let's go. All right, so I wasn't actually given this for free by Body Solid to review this.
You serious?
I just got it in. We distributed some of their products, and I thought it was a really good rack to review. I'll explain a little bit more here in just a second. First off, I want you to notice something. These J-hooks are super beefy. We'll do a 360 view of these here in a second. These J-cups are absolutely built. So you've got a plate, you've got a backer plate that's welded onto the existing plate, and you've got like almost a 3/8 to like ½ inch of UHMW plastic on the J-cup itself. Now, it doesn't have any on the front edge, but these two almost make up for that. So, stick these in here. Super, super beefy. If you haven't heard of the GPR400, it's because none of these fitness influencers are ever gonna review this.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I don't think they give out a lot of this product to do reviews on. And Body Solid is a lesser known company. But the GPR400 is a true 3x3 rack with 5/8 inch holes. So it is cross compatible with any other 5/8 inch attachments from any other brand. The other nice thing is, they have these little oval holes in the side so that when you are installing this rack, you can adjust in micro increments how it levels itself from side to side. So you've got a little bit of play when you're installing these bolts so that when you set it on a flat surface, it's not rocking side to side because it's just a circle with a defined range of motion. So when you're installing the bolts, there's a little bit of wiggle room to adjust it up or down so that everything levels out once it's installed. There's a number of other really nice features about this rack. So currently we've got the multi-grip pull-up bar on this rack, but the regular pull-up bar that comes with this is just a straight across bar that is fully knurled, which is unlike a lot of companies. A lot of companies just have this straight, slick bar that is a pull-up bar you just slide right off of and bust your balls falling on the ground.
What the fuck?
This one is smooth, but the straight across one that comes with the rack is fully knurled. Here's another feature I really like. These spotter rods, and Body Solid does this with pretty much all of their product. On the back here, there are these little pins that keep your rods from sliding out of the holes. Believe me, guys, if you're lifting heavy like me, you know, 1,000 pounds, you're gonna want these rods to stay in place when you're lifting. So if you're bouncing something off the rod and it starts to back out over time, which I have seen before, these rods are eventually gonna fail on you because there's nothing keeping it from coming out of the back of the rack. I don't see many companies other than maybe Frey Fitness adding these little pin pieces to the back, and I think it's an important safety feature. It's a little bit annoying, you can take them off, but I would recommend keeping them in, especially for additional safety.
But wait, there's more.
The amount of bolt points and reinforcements on this rack are insane. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 bolt points.
Wow.
For just the back cross member, whereas most companies do 2. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 here for the multi-grip pull-up bar, whereas normally you'd have like just a couple and use the existing bolts for the multi-grip. You've got these reinforced brackets on either side that make this even more sturdy. You've got almost no sway. You've got bolt down points if you want to bolt it to the floor. You've got these gussets that reinforce the side rails. This thing is insane. It's got so much reinforcement. It is so overbuilt for the price point. I think these things, without the multi-grip, I think these retail for about $729.
Nice.
So for the price point for a rack that is a 3x3 with 5/8 holes, this thing is incredibly overbuilt and honestly like a statement piece in a gym. It's got all the regular attachments you want to get, you know, J-cups and spotter rods and multi-grip and additional attachments. We're going to be doing a glute thrust attachment here. You can add a lat pull down piece on the end of this. But we sell a bunch of these to fire departments because honestly, guys, these things are built like a rock and they're super, super solid. The one thing I will say for a squat rack is because it's super basic, you're not gonna have the laser cut numbering or any of those nicer features. But for a basic squat rack that is commercial rated, which this one is, this is unbelievably priced and a value play at that, especially with all of the features. If you're a 3x3 tube steel fanboy, you're gonna not like this next part. So the uprights are 3x3 tube steel, but the cross members, or these little pieces right here on the uprights, are not. I think they're a 2x3 tube steel, but it doesn't matter because, you know, you're gonna be able to put this thing together just fine anyway, and the only attachments you want to add are really probably just going to be on these uprights. I'm not going to lie to you folks, Body Solid is probably one of the most underrated brands in the entire fitness market.
I agree.
There's only a couple of brands that I would say you really should think about before going with one of the major players, and this is one of them. And it's stuff like this that really makes me reconsider whether the racks that I bought were worth the money, because these are so well built.
Perfect.
Last thing I'll mention is we were able to put this together in about 45 minutes to 1 hour, and that was with one guy doing it on his own. There's very few racks, especially 3x3 racks, that you can do that with. You usually need an assistant to get these things up and about, and they take a little bit longer depending on the style. If you've got a simple rack, you know, like we sell with Frey Fitness, it has 1-inch bolts and it's just got a couple headers, those are super easy. But for stuff like this that has more parts and pieces, it's gonna take a little bit longer. But honestly, 45 minutes to an hour to put something together like this is really not a lot of time. So really reasonable assembly time, which I think is fairly important, especially if you're putting up, you know, multiple of these in a commercial setting. All right, so I was curious what attachments would go onto the Body Solid rack. And keep in mind, again, if any other manufacturer makes 3x3 with, you know, 5/8 hole attachments, they should be able to fit on this. I looked up at 2 Rep Cave, TWO Rep Cave, and he has a rack attachment compatibility list. Definitely recommend you check him out. He's on our top 10 home gym review websites article as well. Really good website for rack compatibility attachments and gym equipment reviews. All right, so other attachments that can fit on the GPR400 are a weight horn attachment, this multi-grip attachment, a T-bar row attachment. They have a squat calf block, 150-pound a stack upgrade for the lat tower. I believe you can do that as plate loaded or as a stack. Band pegs, the dip handles, a U-link attachment for like battle ropes, and that's about it. But again, any other manufacturers that make 3x3 with 5/8 attachments should be able to fit on this rack. Guys, if you really like this rack, leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think. And if you don't, I'm sorry. Let me know. I'm Ashton with Freedom Fitness Equipment. I'm out. And as always, guys, just remember, when you're squatting in the squat rack, no smoking.